Hello everyone. I'm going to start off by showing you a quick demonstration on how to work on assignment 1. We did this briefly in class, but I also want to give you a video tutorial that you can go through on your own. So we're going to start by loading up Adobe InDesign, then clicking up on File, New, and Document. So I'm screen recording one of my screens, but I do have a second screen open beside me that also lists the assignment instructions. So that's how I'm going to know the exact dimensions to put inside of here and the correct settings. You'll all find this on your assignment sheet as well. So we're going to click on the Print tab, and I'm going to select Tabloid, being 11 by 17. So our width and height is set to 11 by 17. I'm going to make sure my units are in inches. I'm going to unselect facing pages. My columns will be changed to 5. My column gutter I'm going to keep at 0.1667 inches. And for margins, I'm going to break this. That way I can change my left to 0.375 inches and my right to 0.375 inches. I'm then going to click Create, and voila, we have our page set up. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it's a little bit clearer as we're working on this. And we are going to start by putting our flag in. I'm going to select the Type tool, click from one corner and drag out to go over 5 columns, and make the height show as 1 inch. And you'll see that by the H on the screen there showing 1 inch. I'm going to type in entertainment. Just clicked off of the text box so I can use the Type tool again. I'm going to do another one that goes over 2 columns. I'm going to select the height to 1 inch. I'm going to type in rocking out with Durham College. And don't worry, afterwards we're going to be changing all the styles. I'm just doing this right now to kind of set up the look and feel of the page. I'm now going to select on the rectangle frame tool, which will put in a rectangle which we'll use for our image here shortly. I'm going to drag that over 2 columns, and it's going to be 4.5 inches in height. If you're having trouble dragging it to the exact size, one other option we have here, if we use the Select tool and we select it, you will see that you can change the width and height directly in here. So the height is at 4.5, but if you weren't able to get it 4.5 on the dot, please make sure you change it here so it is the correct size. Now scroll down a little bit more, use the Type tool again, drag over 2 columns, put the height to 0.5. This is where our cut line is going to be put. I'm going to use the Type tool one last time. This is where our story will go. So we have most of it set up the way we're wanting to right now. You'll also remember that you have your assignment 1 material folder, so I'm just grabbing that from my drop down, and it should look something like this. So I'm going to start by dragging and dropping my rock and reel pick TIFF over. It's just going to drop it directly on that rectangle frame so the image is put in place. I'm going to go back to that folder, and I'm going to open up my cut line. First, I will fix those spelling mistakes that were left in here. And I'm going to drag those to the cut line. You will notice they won't fit, and that is done intentionally because we are going to be working on making sure that our story fits as expected. And you will see this little red square. As mentioned, you should never be seeing that. That's showing that there's text that is hidden. So don't worry, we're going to have that fixed by the end of putting this together. Last but not least, I am also going to grab my story text. Wonderful. So I'm going to select that, close it. I'm going to paste that all in. So I'm going to start going up to the entertainment option here. And our assignment instructions are asking us to take this and make it Adobe Custom Pro Bold Italic. If you do not have that, please find a replacement font and make sure that bold and italic are applied to it. So I'm going to Adobe Custom Pro Bold Italic. I do have that font. Wonderful. It's asking it for it to be 30 points. So I will select 30 points. And I'm going to use this option right here to put it in all caps. I will also align it to the left, which it already was. And perfect. You will notice on the example, this is not all caps. So this is one area where you will not lose marks if you put it all caps, and you will not lose marks if it's not all caps. But otherwise, I'd like it to fully match the sample you've been provided. So I see that we've made this 1 inch, and you'll remember from in class, I then had you make this a little smaller. So we're going to change that to be about 0.5. So I just used the select tool and then drag that up. So now I'm going to move my headline back up, and we're going to change our headline now. We're going to select all this text, and it's asking it to be Helvetica Bold. So I'm just going to select in the text, start typing in Helvetica. I see Helvetica Bold. A minimum size of 36. And what else is it asking? And a line left, which it is. Perfect. So you will see that it didn't fully fit in perfect. And that is fine. There's a couple small options we can do to fix things here. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking inside of this. I hit Command A, that will select all the text because I still see that little red square there that I don't want to see. And there's small little tweaks we can make to make things fit. So you'll see that there's this option here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a -10. What that does is it makes the letters all come together a little bit closer. And now it's able to fit. Next, I'm going to move the photo up ever so slightly. Still want to keep a little bit of space between that G and the photo. What that G is called a descender. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the up arrow on my keyboard to just nudge it up a little bit. And voila, our photo is in. And I am going to double click on the photo, and you'll see that this yellow box is now appearing on the outside. I'm going to hold shift down on my keyboard, and it's very important to hold shift down because that'll make it so the photo doesn't skew. You will lose marks if your photo is skewed. I'm going to drag it down and in. Then I'm going to grab from the bottom here, do the same, make it so it somewhat matches. I'm going to try and make it match as close as possible to what the image showed. And you'll see I have his finger slightly showing here. I don't want that, so I'm just going to drag it back a little more, and voila, the photo is now in. I'm now going to move our pick cred up. I'm not just moving it up, I'm making the box bigger right now. And for the pick credit, it is going to be Helvetica 7 points. So I'm going to select this font, our text, sorry, and change the font to Helvetica. Where's my Helvetica regular? Helvetica regular. Wonderful. And it's going to be 7, which there isn't a 7 option, so I'm going to select 8 and then manually put in a 7. I'm going to change my leading here to 12. And I will also align it to the right. I will then select my cut line text. I'm going to remove the word cut line. Going to select this text now, and I'll be changing it to Baskerville. Semi-bold. 10 with a 12-point leading. And we're going to align it justified with, sorry, let me go back to this. What's it asking for again? Sorry, this one is align left. So align left, perfect. I'm just going to drag that up a little bit. I'm going to use my arrow key on my keyboard just to nudge it up a little bit. Perfect. Now we have our main story text. So I'm just going to nudge this up. Make sure I give it a little bit of room. I'm going to drag this all the way to the bottom right now. We will probably be changing this shortly. And next, I'm going to select it. So I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to right click, go text frame options. And I'm going to change the column number to 2 since it's going over 2 columns. And because I have this preview option selected, you will see that it's all changed inside of here. And this is exactly as I'd like it. I'm going to click OK. And perfect. So I'm now going to double click inside of here one more time. I'm going to change the byline right here. So the name of the writer, I'm going to select, and it'll be Helvetica, bold, "12 and 12. So 12-point font size and a 12-point leading. And then I'm going to select the Chronicle. And it'll go to Helvetica. Light. And that is set up to be 10-point with a 12-point leading. And it is also aligned left as well. Wonderful. Next, for all this text, I'm going to go about selecting it. And this is going to be Baskerville, regular. It's going to be 10 point with 12 point leading. Well, there's some that I did miss here. So I'm actually going to take a slightly different approach here. I'm going to hit Command A. I'm going to change all the font here to Baskerville, regular. .10 font with 12 point. Wonderful. And I'm going to set it to justify with last line align left, which is the bottom part below this align left. So I'm going to select that. And now all the fonts should be set to that. I'm just going to redo this section right here. So for the byline, again, I'm going to change this for the name of the writer to be Helvetica bold. With 12-point font and a 12-point leading and align to the left. So again, change that to align left here just for this section. And for the Chronicle, I'm going to change that to Helvetica Light. And the font size will be 10 with a 12-point leading. And again, it will be aligned left. So make sure that you select the top option here for that. And wonderful. And we are back. Sorry about that short little pause I had there. I'm going to cut that out so you don't even notice it though. But you may see the time change. The joys of having children. Alright, so I am going to now, in this text option, I'm going to take all of these indents we have here from the paragraphs. I'm going to remove them. You'll start to notice that this is making a lot more space in this. That looks like we got all of them. Next, I'm going to select all of the text. Not including this section here. And then I'm going to go to Type and Paragraph. And inside of here, you're going to see there's a couple different indenting options. We could indent from the left everything, but I just want to do it for the very top line. So now you'll see that it's slowly indenting in the text. And I'm going to set mine to 0.1875. And we now have it all fitting in. Wonderful. So this is everything that's going to be required for the very first assignment. As we start to move throughout the semester, I'm going to be teaching you a lot of different things. For example, how to make sure that these lines perfectly match up nicely. You'll notice that there's a slight difference between the line height here, so you'll learn how to fix that type of issue. Additionally, there'll be a couple other little things that we'll be going over just to help make the design look a little bit better. Plus, when we start using the Chronicle template, some of these will just be fixed all on their own, which will be nice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, I'm always an email away. Thank you very much.